Okay, so section 1.4, here we are in number 3. This is 1.4, problem number 3, as it says up here. And they want me to combine this. So we have minus 2 plus minus 5. Now, do parentheses always mean multiply?
No.
No, clearly not here, huh? So when do they then? If they don't always, when do parentheses? I mean, how could I make that? It's not multiply right now, is it? But how could you make it multiply? What needs to change? When do parentheses mean multiply? If you're right up against the number's right up against the parenthesis wall. So in other words, if it was like this, that would mean multiply, huh? See how there's nothing separating the number and the parentheses right up against the wall? So if the number's right up against the wall, then it's multiply. So parentheses sometimes mean multiply when you're right up against the parenthesis wall. But if you're not, if there's some other symbol in the middle, then it's that. It's not multiply, it's whatever symbol is in there. So yeah, so what's this going to be? Yeah, and it's negative 2 and negative 5. Just, I always just think about money. I'd say because we deal with money all the time, easy way. So if you lost $2 and you lost $5, how's your bank account doing? You lost $7. Right? Just like that. It's just adding those numbers up, right? So 2 plus negative 8. That's not multiply. Why is it not multiply? It's not right up against the wall. There's the symbol in the middle, so it's add, subtract. So I would just think about money. Just think about money as far as this. If you have $2 and then you lose 8, how's your bank account? Where you at? You're down 6, aren't you? Is that good?
Yeah.
On that? So even though it's adding in the middle, it really turned out to be a subtraction problem, didn't it? Because you add a negative, but you just know that. I don't need to tell you that. If you just think money, you know. Let's just subtract. Okay, so number 9. What's the story with fractions? What do I do with minus 3/16 add 7/16? Yeah, now do I add the bottoms? 16 and 16? I just keep those the same? So you're saying it's just keep the bottom the same, the 16. What do you do on the top? Add them. 7 and 3 is 10?
No.
That's negative 3? Is that negative on the 3 or is it on the 16? It's on the whole fraction, huh?
Yeah.
It's subtract 3/16. So 7 minus 3 is 4.
4/16.
It's going to be 7 minus 3 is 4. Do we leave it that way? No, I think they want a fraction. We don't make this. We'll see what they want. They want fraction in the end. Simplified fraction, though. We always simplify. So how do we simplify that fraction? Can we reduce it?
Yeah.
What goes into the top and the bottom? 4 does, huh? So divide by 4, 1/4. Good? Everybody good with that? Because it was 7 take away 3, wasn't it? Made 4. Yeah, but they want a fraction on that. Good? Okay, so this is number 10. So yeah. So let me just bring it down. So we have minus 7/20 and minus 4/5. So what's the deal? Yeah, we got to make the bottoms the same, don't we? Common denominator. You can only add, subtract fractions when the bottoms are the same. So what do I do? Can I just make it 20? Why not? So a math teacher said no at some point? Math book says no? Why can't I do that? Because that's a different question, isn't it? Any changes we make to something have to be changes that only change the way it looks, not what its actual value is. That would change its value completely. Right? You with me on that? Math, we do things that change the way it looks, but not its actual value. So I've got to make that bottom 20, but I've got to make it 20 without changing the actual value. So how do we do that?
Except that they both go into them. Maybe 40 would be.
Yeah, what could I multiply that by to make that bottom 20?
4 times.
4 times, huh? And then what do I have to also do? Also do the top. Because if you do the top and the bottom, you're not really changing it. You're just changing the way it looks, right? I always call it plastic surgery, just to help people remember. We're removing the wrinkles, but it's the same person. It's the same value. It just looks different, right? You with me? I'm just trying to help you remember the idea. That's what we do a lot of in math, is this plastic surgery thing. We make something look different without being different. Like that, right? Now their denominators match. So now we can combine them, can't we? So now it's whatever, minus 7 and minus 16. If you lose $7 and lose $16, you lost $23. We just leave it that way. It's totally fine to have the top bigger. There's no problem with having the top bigger. When they say simplify, all they mean is, can you divide anything out? And there's nothing nothing goes into 23 and 20. So we're done right there. It's totally fine to leave the top bigger. Is that good? I'm doing good. All right, so we have absolute value 4 plus negative 6 plus absolute value negative 1. Okay. So, hey, watch me do the problem for a second, and you tell me if I'm doing it right or wrong. What do absolute values do? Make things positive, right? So here we go. Don't write this down. You guys just be the judges of it. So make it positive. It already is. Make it positive. Make it positive. So then that's 10 plus 1, 11. All right? Should I type it in? So we got negative absolute value negative 8. Okay. So what happens? What are those absolute? Careful now. Do what absolute values say to do. What absolute values say to do?
Positive.
Now, what do they make positive? Like everything in the world? Just what's between their bars. Nothing outside of them, right? So those absolute values go crunch, and they make anything between them positive. So they're going to make this guy become positive, but they don't touch the one that's outside, do they? So they make this become positive 8 or regular 8, you know. But this guy, he's like, I'm still here. They didn't affect me. So the final answer is negative 8, isn't it? Everybody see that? They only affect the one between them. Absolutely. That's what they're testing you on that question. So it's actually negative 8. Okay, now they're going to throw a curveball at you on the next one. So how about this? What if we say, wait a minute, yeah, but 2 negatives make a positive, though. You're not here. Those 2 negatives cannot get together because that negative is crunched by the absolute value signs. So they don't get together, do they? Now, what if instead, because this is what the next question is going to be, they gave me parentheses with the 2 negatives instead of absolute values? Then it would be plus, wouldn't it? Because then they get together, right? Because now this one is not changed. It's just 2 negatives, positive, done. So that would just be regular 8 or positive 8, done. Does everybody see the difference between those two? So absolute values make positive, right? So number 19. So try that when they're telling me x is 1, y is negative 2. Plug those into the formula. Plug those in and work it out. So the 1 will plug in there. The negative 2 will plug in there. All right? So we get 4. You always put parentheses around things you're plugging in. Whoops, why'd I put a negative 1? It's not a negative 1. Just regular 1, huh? So 4 times 1 is 4. Plus negative 2 is minus 2. It's 2, huh? Good? That making sense on that? Plug it in. We good there?